And now, allegedly, where we slow the story down. This is about insight versus impact, learning from what we observe. Instead of paying the price ourselves, their experiences become our education. So growth doesn't have to come with damage.
I love the music though. God bless musicians, okay? They are special people and God bless them. Okay. Welcome. Thank you so much for staying with me. Let me say that first thing. Thank you for staying with us so far. Thank you for sticking with the show. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing, all that good stuff. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, welcome to Allegedly, episode 31, I believe. Yes. Or is it 32? One of them. I think it's episode 32. We're at episode 32. Refresh, Relax, Renew is at episode 33. And I think for Allegedly, we're at episode 32. Thank you so much for joining me for this. Now, Allegedly is very important to me. It's where we transform gossip into growth. Yes, from gossip to growth, or we use other people's stories as case studies for our own empowerment, to influence and inspire our own self-work so that we can have breakthroughs. All right, so that's what we do. And over here, what I seek to do is to speak my truth, where truth meets opinion and headlines meet hard questions, right? And it doesn't mean that I'm sitting asking all kind of questions. It just means that I process the stories. I see where the lessons are. I take it from a positive voice because I'm very careful with people's stories. You see, when it comes to people's stories, I'm extremely cautious with it. I don't play games with people's stories because, you see, I've learned pain is a tool God uses to draw people close to him. So I do not play games with people's pain, right? So now we're going to be going to the copyright disclaimer for today so we can get into the stories. I have some clips that I'm going to be reacting to. Now, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Okay, baby. Okay, so now we are going to go to our clips. And then we take it from there.
That you used to value that you don't value anymore.
Being understood. People can really only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves.
Wow. Did you hear that? Let's finish this clip and then go.
Which means that some people simply won't have the ability to understand you, and that's okay. You don't need to fight to be heard, to be seen, to be approved of. Sometimes it's just okay to say, we don't agree. I don't think you understand. And let it be.
Oh, I'm getting emotional. Oh my gosh. Wow, I'm getting emotional. Didn't really expect. I didn't think I'd be emotional about it, but wow. Initially when I was going to stop it and say something and I didn't. I was going to say, well, the truth is, being understood is important to me, but being understood by who? It's the who that makes a world of difference for me. I'd like to be understood by those people I'm sent to serve and by those persons I love and by those persons who I'm interacting with on a regular basis. I'd love to be understood. But I also understand what she's saying. Do not hinge being understood. Do not hinge your joy, your peace, your contentment on being understood. Do not hinge your peace, your joy, your contentment on being agreed with, being confirmed, approved, acknowledged. Man, I'm telling you, it's like after I grew up, I had to go and recondition myself, because the way I feel like I was conditioned in this world, I was cultivated to be a dependent, to be depending on. And I feel like for my whole life, I've had to go the other way. And while I was going against the current, I thought, oh my God, why is this so hard? Why am I alone? Why am I not married? Why doesn't anybody love me? Why does na. And I'm realizing that, my baby girl, your life is going exactly as God meant it to be. The reason I felt that way, and still sometimes it pops in, is not so much because I'm unhappy. It's not because I'm unhappy. It's not because I lack something. It's because of the conditioning, the culture, the mindset, the way I thought the world works or should work, and why isn't it working that way for me? The way I see it work for other people, and I'm thinking, so why can't it work that way for me? Because I am me. Because you are you. You are different. You are not. You are individual. You are. There's no other version of you out there. We were never made or designed to fit in. We were never created to fit into anything. We were always created and designed to stand out. Yeah. And I know that will not remove all the desires I have, because I'm going to have those desires. There's certain desires you're just going to have. For example, for me, I desire companionship and having someone. I still have the feeling of being chosen by somebody, being special to somebody, because I see it out in the world and I love how it looks. And it is my hope that what God has for me includes that. But if it doesn't, I'm still okay. I'm fully blessed. God takes care of me and I lack nothing. But I'm saying that to say, don't feel poorly. Don't lie to yourself and say, oh, all right, I don't care if I'm being understood. No, walk your truth. Speak your truth, own your truth. And as you do that, keep working on yourself. Because that's what has happened to me. I talk about like being with somebody or whatever, but I'm not hampered, or I'm not hindered by not having it. And if I never had it, I'd still be okay, and I'm still going to be happy every single day of my life. Every day of my life I'll be happy, because my life is full. My life is absolutely full. I'm not missing any halves of me. And everyone that I love, I'm so blessed. Everyone I love, they're in my life. I can reach out to them. They're in my life. I'm so humbled and I'm so grateful, you know. And sometimes what trips us up is possession. Anyway, when she said, I'm telling you, I just got so emotional, you know, and that's because it means something, and I connected with what she was saying, you know. But it is my hope that you will not allow other people's understanding of you to impact how you live your life or how you see yourself. And when you do have those persons who take the time to understand, bless them, thank them, appreciate and value them. You know, someone said to me, I will always listen to you. I don't know that I know fully what that means, but it was very special and I like it. And I remember someone else said to me, I'll always be gentle with you. You see, for me, that's currency. That means more to me than money. You see, when someone prays for me, that's more currency to me. That's currency to me. When people wish me well and are kind, that's currency to me. So let's not take it for granted. And let's be conscious or mindful of how much we invest in those who don't understand, as opposed to recognizing and acknowledge those who do understand. But do not allow your joy, your peace, your contentment to hinge on someone understanding. Sometimes they just don't have the capacity. Sometimes they just don't have the capacity. It's not willingness sometimes. Sometimes they don't have the willingness too, but sometimes they don't have capacity. They're just not able to understand. And some things you just have to know, okay, nobody's going to understand, or you find those who do understand. All right, let's keep going. Oh. Oh my gosh, it's so loud. Let me turn it down. Yeah, this one right here. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you something. Whoa, listen to me. Why am I sharing this? I'm not sharing this clip so much because of laughter. It's not laughter why I'm sharing it. It is funny. It is very funny. But that's not why I'm sharing it. Look at that. Look at that. Who are we following? Who are we following? And the reason I'm sharing this clip is because, I was having a conversation yesterday with one of my angels. Well, actually, two of my angels. And after I left that conversation, I'm like, who, and when I thought of this clip, I wanted to include this clip this morning because of that conversation yesterday. Because you see, when it comes to God, who is framing our reference? Who is framing our reference? Who is giving us the breakdown? Who is guiding our understanding of God? I said it earlier that God had to teach me that I don't want you to go along to get along when it comes to me. I need you to go at your true pace because I need you to really get to know me. And when you get there, then testify of it. I don't know if I can effectively say this, but let me try to explain it. Growing up in the church and growing up as a person who I've been a Christian all my life, done the baptism, everything, cannot take it out of my soul because I'm so cultured in it that even if I tried to run away, I couldn't go too far. And I know that that's not by mistake because God was intentional about where I was born, who I was born to, what I was affiliated with. Church I grew up in, those 33 years were not by accident. So I know it's not a bad thing. I know this is how God wanted me to live my life. God wanted me to be a part of the Christian faith. I get all of that. But the thing is, that was a challenge for me was I felt pressured. I felt like in this environment of Christianity, the leaders of Christianity, it's as though they want, some of them, not all of them, like some of them, it's like they want you to be where they're at the same time they're there. And even if they did not project it, I perceived it. And so for a long time, I struggled because I'm like, I just can't speak in tongues. And I remember when I was younger, I think I was 16, and they're like, it's time for you to speak in tongues now. Like, I didn't know this is something there's a time for. I think there's some things that when it happens, it just happens. It's supposed to just flow, and it's supposed to be on God's timing. When you grow, you just grow. You can't, even as a child growing up your height, I didn't get to 5 feet before I was 2 feet. I had to go to 2 feet first. I had to let my body just grow. It's the same thing with my relationship with God. And I'm sharing this clip to show a lot of us are in flocks. Kingdom flocks, religious flocks, Christianity flocks. We're in these things, in these movements, in these flocks, these movement flocks. And we're just following. And we realize that it's off, something is off. I'm drowning here. And instead of realizing that we're going the wrong direction, we start making it seem as if it's God that's failing us. Because we're hanging on for dear life to these belief systems that sometimes we have not yet had a lived experience to validate ourselves. But we're hanging on to it for dear life. I was at a place, I had to train myself to challenge God. In the beginning, when I tried to challenge God, I was dead scared. Oh my God, I was so afraid of, I can't talk about the Jesus name like that. I can't say God's name in vain. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You've got to explore. And when you're exploring, You can't be walking. You can't decide, okay, I'm going to explore the jungle, but I don't want, you're going into the ocean, but you don't want your hair to get wet. What are you talking about? How are you going to immerse yourself without some dirt, some mess happening? It took me a long time and a lot of God prodding and pushing me to get to a place where I said, God, don't talk to me. I don't like you. Why can't I say that if it's my God? If God sent his son to die for me, what else must he declare or demonstrate for me to understand that his love for me is unconditional? Unconditional is not even the word. There's no English word to define it, to explain it. There is no God leaving me. You cannot tell me God is going to leave me. There's nothing I can do to disconnect from God, who has, it must be death when he removes the oxygen. And then I'm just waste matter. Ever since, and again, that man, God bless him, because God used him to let me know I have a soul. I remember before when I used to date, they used to say to me, you don't have any feelings, you don't have any feelings. And I'm like, but that's all I've got is feelings. But I finally understood what they meant. I did not know that there was a light inside my chest. There's a place inside of me that I have no influence over. And that's what I feel when I'm with like my nieces and nephews and those people that I adore. That is here. It's not up here. And thank God to my experience with that person. I have that with God. That was the experience God used to introduce himself to me. I would rather blaspheme than find myself in the place of this chicken. Let me change that. I would rather blaspheme in my efforts to learn God and connect with God for myself than to find myself in a place like this chicken when it comes to God. I cannot risk it. God is too important to me. I've got to go through knowing him. And if I have to disrespect God for him to throw me down, for me to see, oh, he hears me, then that's the route I'm going to take. And I'm not trying to tell you to do that, I'm saying by any means necessary, you must learn God for yourself. You must know God for yourself. So when you're following, you see, a great leader does not want blind followers. Because a great leader knows he needs accountability to achieve the goal, to reach where he's trying to get to. He needs people who are going to speak truth to him. Or, yeah, a great leader knows that. So you playing small doesn't serve your leader. You going along to get along does not serve your leader. You pretending. Yeah, you going out of place, you lying does not help your leader. And I cannot talk about your relationship with God, but my relationship with God, God tells me to be true. God tells me straight up, don't you ever come in front of me with no pretense. Come to me as you, the woman I designed and created you to be. God knows I'm rebellious a little bit. So sometimes I'm like, it takes me a while to obey. But he loves me. And so he gives me patience. Because he knows that he's asking me to do something. So he might need to give me 5 minutes to get adjusted. God knows that I'm lazy. So he has to help me connect with his divine purpose, to give me purpose to move, because just telling me to move or giving me work to do is not going to work. What works for you with God? Find it. And this is something I can promise you. You're not going to lose the flock you're trying to follow. You may disconnect for a while, but once you find yourself, you'll get back on track, because I understand too that I like these people. Even sometimes when I don't belong there. There are ways they can fit. Maybe they were temporary in your life or whatever, but are you following temporary people? Are you following people you were meant to lead? Were you supposed to follow them to a certain extent, as with the chicken? Follow them to the edge of the water, get some water to drink, but don't go in the water with them. I just think this was just a powerful lesson when it comes to the kingdom of God, because there's this formation that we think everybody should be in, where we should all be at the same time with God, at the same time, understand Him at the same time, get the same belief at the same time. It doesn't work that way if we're walking in truth. It doesn't work that way. I have to take my time to get to know God, to get to learn God, to understand how God talks to me. And then I have to try to relate that to you. And you can choose if you have the willingness to connect with me through understanding or not. Remember what we talked about before? Nobody's obligated to understand you. So do not allow their understanding to hinge. Do not allow your life's work or your wellness or your peace to hinge right on their understanding. Don't allow that. Right? But that's why I had to share this. Because a lot of us are out here following Bible, following people, but we don't even know who we are. How are you going to follow Bible before you know who you are? How are you going to know the interpretations that you're supposed to cleave to? How do you know? Remember, the Bible is there for everybody. It's written in a generic way for everybody. No, we have to personalize it to ourselves. We have to learn it for ourselves. We have to understand what role it plays on our path. It's just like a business system that's there to support us. You can't just come into the system and then want everybody else to tell you what to do. No, you have to figure out, how does this work in my life? How do I, when I buy a knife, what do I want to eat? Have you ever been to somebody's house, right? Or online, you're seeing how people cook certain things. Like the other day I saw they boil the coconut. I've never had boiled jelly. I've never had the concept to boil it. But they apply it in their culture, in their way. We all have our ways of life. We all have our culture, but we also have our individual selves. Let's not get lost in it, so that we can, when we really do it, there is meaning, there's purpose, there is wisdom, and there is truth. You know? Let's go to the next clip. Hang on here. Oh, this was a clip I had to play as well. Listen to this. And I've heard these things before. I've had these thoughts before. I've even had these thoughts about myself. But I'm had.
Me hear, me hear woman talk sometimes to me hear herself. What am I do with she? She not even look good. She don't even look good. What am I do with that girl? She don't even look good. What am I do with that girl? She don't even shape good. What am I that girl not at? What am I do with that girl? You know what am I do with that girl? She's a good person. She's nice. She's kind. She's caring. She soothes his soul. She feeds his mind. She's his comfort. She's his peace.
There we go.
She motivate the man. She make them. And when we talk about motivate, I mean like say she a give him something. Her presence, her aura, her essence makes him want to be the best version of himself.
Wow. That is powerful.
That's why I'm there with she.
Wow.
Your body bigger, your belly flatter, your skin smoother. you wear better ear, you dress better than her, everything, but she's still better than you. Yes, her belly big, but she's still better than blood clot you. Her titty long, she's still a better woman than you. Her body flat, yes, she's still better than you. She shaped like blood clot, improper fraction. She's still blood clot better than you. She have weight alopecia, it will her head side peel out. She's still blood clot better than you. She's still better than you and your good blood clot shape. She's still better than you. Because she's a good person. And that we do no blood clot. You don't feel like say looks is everything.
All right. I didn't listen that far, but I'm okay with it. See, let me tell you something. This does not offend me, him using the expletives or whatever, because truth is what I'm about. If that's how you truly feel, let it be. Anyway, you know, for a very, very long time, and my angels would know this. For a very, very long time, I'll say up to, I think it was, we're in 2026. 2024, I think it's probably late 2024, was the first time I remember when I spoke with my friends and I said, I'm now 80% at the place of believing or thinking I'm lovable. Because of how I grew up, that's why I called myself the rebel piglet, right? I made a decision with myself that nobody's gonna love you. Nobody can love you. You're just not lovable. You're not a bad person. I just thought there was a certain type of people that's lovable. And to be honest, it wasn't necessarily a look for me. It wasn't necessarily a look. I just thought it was people who have great families, people who are easy to love. And I've never felt easy to love. You know, because I felt like I always felt like to be loved, I had to trade who I was. And I didn't know how to be anybody else. I didn't have any other examples. So I felt like I was fighting to be me. Even when I was in relationships, it's like I was fighting to be me. I'm fighting to be me. And I have to say, you know what? I just have to just not be chosen, because I can't trade me, because I wouldn't know who else to be. So I just felt it was a certain type of person. And they like to tell you must be soft spoken, you must be this, you must be that, you must sit this way, you must praise that way, you must. And I'm just like, God, if I can't be loved as me, then oh well. I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm too this, I'm too. God. So for a long time, I never felt lovable. And I've had to look. I remember at one point in time I started looking and saying, see, that person have a person, that person have a person. And that's why for me, I think the reason for me looks is not it for me is because I think it's because I grew up in Jamaica. And let me tell you something with Jamaican men, at least the men I've experienced in Jamaica. They build your self-esteem. I've experienced a Jamaican who migrated, we were in an argument and he said things to me. He had said multiple things to me that made me feel like my body wasn't good enough. Like anyway, you know, but I'm speaking about the Jamaican men in general, just in general. It just walk down the road and a Jamaican man is going to make you feel like you're a queen. I'm telling you, if you have self-esteem issues, just you don't have to dress properly, you don't have to do anything, just walk down the road. And I promise you, there are going to be men that they will make you feel like you're the most beautiful thing this world have ever seen. It's a Jamaican man thing. That's how they are. I'm not used to a Jamaican man who is not loving towards women and kind towards women. I don't have that experience. I believe that sometimes when people are in relationships, different things happen because they're interacting with each other. But generally speaking, Jamaican men are great men, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But I kind of feel like they're cheaters. Well, anyway, I'm going to move on. You see, when I'm sitting listening to him, this applies in personal life, this applies in business life, this applies. Why are they doing business with that person and not you? Why is the man marrying that person and not you? You know what I've grown to realize after I really truly realized I loved somebody? When I actually started, when God placed love in my heart for someone, possession of the person became irrelevant. I mean, the desires are there. And it requires great strength and self-control and mind management. But you know what's most important to me for the people that I love? For them to be happy and thriving and content. I would not want to be in that man's life if I'm going to be his source of pain. I want him to be with who he chooses, who he wants to be with, even if it shatters me. Because people should have the right to choose what they desire. Whether God influences that desire or not, that's up to them. Me personally, I want what God has for me because I'm terrible at choosing. I've never chosen well. And I realize that at the worst of time, God always gives me the best. Even when it doesn't go the way I want it to, it has always been a blessing. God has never given me something that was bad for me, even when it didn't work the way I wanted it to. at the time I wanted to. It has always blessed me. It has always been amazingly wonderful, anything God gives me, you know. And too often, and you know what it is, I really think it is, when we're busy assessing other people, it's really it's insecurity. It's our own insecurity. Sometimes it's our own. So what's wrong with me? Why hasn't it happened to me? And that thing is a real thing, you know. It's a real thing. When you feel like, so what happens to me? Like, when is my time? I remember when, you know, I used to terribly struggle with my bills and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my God, like, when is my time? Like, I'm always like, God, I'm a hard worker. When is my time? And you know, when it happens, you don't even realize. Honestly, when I got to the place where all my bills were being paid, it's like I wasn't even thinking about it anymore. I didn't even realize. It was a long time. I was like, oh my gosh, my prayer was answered. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize my prayer was answered. My prayer has been answered. One thing I've learned, there's fantasy and then there's love. There's infatuation and then there is love. And the one thing I've learned about love, it's not a choice. For me, it's not a choice I ever made. It has never been a choice. I remember my niece, Sadiki. I can't even talk about her. I know I shouldn't have gone there now because... Listen. That young girl, that child, and it's not just her, and I don't want my other nieces and nephews to hear me talk about her and think I love her more. I love you all different. And it's just that with Sadiki, I loved that kid since she was in the tummy, her mother's tummy. I feel like I even love her mother more because of her. I don't know how to explain that little pitney just have my heart tied up, wrapped up. And it's the same for all my nieces and nephews. It's like, I'm putty. It's like, that's not something I could have put inside of me. I'm telling you, when I saw my nieces and nephews the other day, like, all I could do was say, do not cry. Don't cry. And I remember my niece, Sadiki, was like, please, auntie, don't cry. Because I think if I had ever gone there, the entire day would have been about us sitting down being emotional. You know, when you could feel the impact you have on somebody, on a group of people, and they're looking at you and you have to like hold it together. That kind of in here, I can't give that to myself. And I realize that even when I love when it's a male that you love, and I finally have that experience, you have no control over it. So what he's saying is, I mean, he's giving you all the examples of why the person chose who he's with. And I think he's right. He's very right. But I also think that we don't really get to choose who we love. And I think a lot of men are not necessarily with women they love. I have been asking myself, what's a relationship and what's the purpose of a relationship? And I'm trying to learn it. You know, what do you choose for? For me, it's divine purpose I want. I want what God has for me, or I want to be with who God has for me. I want to do what God wants me to do. That's what I want. But different people have different reasons for what they do. And that's across my personal life, my business life, everything. I just want to do what God wants me to do. I want to be what God wants me to be. And it is my hope that in all of that, He will give me experiences that will make me live a full life, full of joy. And there's only one thing missing right now, and I don't know why it's so missing, but I hope to God He sends the solution. You know? But people are going to choose based on their own objectives, and you have to respect it. And we have to get beyond the thought that someone else is not worthy of something. I remember I've had experiences where the person I've dated, persons thought I was too fat for him. I was like 165 at the time. I wasn't this big. I am today. And there was this thought, because for me, I loved my natural hair, my natural stuff. I just loved being me. So I was not going to be that person who would live above my means. I was not going to be the person that puts on the wigs and stuff. And I remember one day, I mean, he said some things to me that, anyway, but persons thought he was so handsome. There are some persons, and there wasn't a lot of people either. They thought he was so handsome that why is he with me? And it wasn't about my looks for them. It was to the persons who expressed, it was more like they think he'd be with a hot girl. Does that make sense? Like a girl who loves to dress up. And I've had persons like, oh my God, look how cute he is. Like, you should dress this way. You should do, and honestly, for me, I didn't see him that way. And I never trusted him. The things that matter to me are so different. That's not where my mind was. I wanted to build. I wanted to do stuff. I wanted to, And I remember my closest friend at the time, she'd be like, Raquel, that's not the kind of guy you did. She called them royal, right? Because they're mixed, whatever. Because she knows, for me personally, I love dark-skinned men. That's just me personally. I love dark-skinned men. But I've never thought a black man would ever love me, have the capacity to truly love me the way I want to be loved. So growing up, I thought I was going to, my vision, my image that I always had in my head was a white man, but he doesn't look white, but he's a country man, curly hair, short curly red hair, and he's an amateur guitar player. And I'm gonna be sitting on the thing swinging, and I'm singing my amateur singing because I love to sing, and he's playing his amateur guitar. That is what I had in my mind, and I think it's because of all those books that I've read, the Danielle Steels, the Harley Quinn, the historical romance books, right? I think that's what it is, because truly, in who I'm attracted to is a black man. I love the color of his skin, all of that. But as I've grown, and I've, you see, when you've been presented with what you want, and you realize that your soul does not want that, it's something different. Because what I realize now, to be honest with you, what I'm attracted to is a man who loves God. There's something very special about a man connecting you back to God. I can't explain it. A man who always wants you to know God's got you. A man who wants you to know that there's a God and that God loves you. And that I remember one morning, I woke up and I got a video. Don't get emotional. Oh my gosh. And this young man sent me a video explaining I wonder if I could find it. Like, almost like saying to me, do you know what happened for you to be here? Like, do you know that it's no accident that you're here? Like, there could be no accident, like the amount of things that has happened. I'm trying to see if I can find. I'm telling you, it was one of the most powerful things someone could have ever said to me. It's the most loving. That was love for me. And let me explain why it was love for me. I'm not saying that was his intention. I've always questioned my birth. Always. And because I never felt wanted by my mother. So I've always questioned my existence, and I've always said, I don't think I'm going to be somebody who lives very long and stuff like that. And I'm telling you, and it's funny because this is not someone I'm interacting with often. So he either pays really close attention to, he's someone who pays attention. There's some persons who they pay attention. And I don't mean attention to me, just somebody who pays attention. And you know. But he sent me this video that how many people were skipped over to get to you. Like, it's no accident that you're here. It's not showing up on this because this is not my actual WhatsApp. It's like this video was explaining that this many people were moved out of the way, that many things happened, like you know, you could not possibly have been an accident. Like, you know, like you couldn't possibly, with all the generations that have come and everything that has happened, and the process of someone being, of life happening, you couldn't possibly be an accident, you know. And I'm just saying that to say, you are worthy. Everyone is worthy. And to the extent that we can't see that someone else is worthy, it's because we don't see is the limitations we have on ourselves. Remember the first clip where she said she no longer expects understanding because she understands the self actualization or the self knowledge that is required for someone to even get to a place where they can understand. And so when we criticize others, we really are exposing ourselves. That's what we really are doing. Because if we truly know God, and let me tell you something about happiness and joy. I'm at such peace that if anything I do keep you miserable, I can't be around you. I'm so happy that I want everyone to be happy. God blesses me so much that I just want to show up and show you that I want to support you, because God is a good God who blesses people. Like, I just want to, I'm overflowing. I'm overflowing. I'm in a stage of my life now where I am overflowing. I stopped spilling a long time ago. Thank God I no longer spill. I'm overflowing with joy, love, blessings, abundance, all of it overflowing. There's an outpouring. When I tell you I have so much to give, I have so much love to give. I just have so much that I want to pour out. Like, I'm just overflowing, you know? So when we question people's blessings, we have to be careful. And I don't know if I said this at the beginning. I said it where I'm cautious when I talk about people's story. You have to be careful when you're questioning what God chooses to bless people with, you know. And on the other hand, you don't know what's happening in people's relationships, so be careful. Be careful what you desire for, what you think does not work. You don't know why it works. You don't know why it works or how it works. So let's bless people. When I tell it, please just running around in my head. I don't know why. It's like Sean Combs I have such compassion for that man, for what he went through. And again, I couldn't have placed that inside of me either. I have prayed for that man. I have compassion for him, and I feel for him. And in my soul, God has told me Sean Combs is a man of God and being used by God. No one has to believe or understand, but I know that. Anyway, he just keeps running around in my mind, and as soon as I'm done this, I will go figure out what's going on. He's just running around in my mind. Let's go to the next clip. I think this is the final clip.
You haven't met all the people who are going to love you.
Ooh. Hallelujah. You haven't met. You know, I had a conversation with someone the other day, you know. There's a particular client that I have who, she used to do this a lot, you know, where she would say to me, I love you. And she would constantly say it to me, and every time she say it, I'm like trying to look for some hole to slip through to exit. Because I just feel like, oh my God, this is business. I don't know what's happening here, what is this, and I don't want to say it back. And I'm telling you, she has remained so consistent. She reminded me the other day, she said, you didn't find me, you know. I saw you and came to you. And it's so funny because I didn't remember. She's like, I came to you. I came to you. I saw you before you saw me. And I'm telling you, that message was so loaded because of the conversation we would go on to. It's such a beautiful thing sometimes just to experience love from somebody, and especially when it's somebody who you don't really know like that. Like, or you think you don't know like that, or you think they don't know you like that, or you're thinking, how could you possibly, like, you don't really know me, like, you know. And then you realize that people know more than you think they do. No matter how much you think you're closed off, people, God is real, and God will, because that's what happened to me. You see, when you hear me talk about this person that I wrote book or whatever, I have not been had spent any adequate time in any space with this person to get to know them. What I know of them, God taught me. God introduced this person to me, and God told me who this person is. And all of it, everything that God has told me has been proven to be true. But what I'm trying to say is, people are going to come to love you because God prepared their soul to love you. God prepared them. It wasn't something you did. It's God who puts love inside of us. It's God who decides. Anyway, let's go.
In your life yet. And so when you meet all these people who are going to love you, they do not want to meet a vengeful person.
Forgive.
Okay? Because they're going to get the overflow of that vengefulness.
But you know, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this to what you said. You know, who was I? I think I was talking to somebody. Every time I have a conversation about relationships, I get overwhelmed, because it's like, I literally feel like somebody's trying to say to me, who I am will not get the relationship. I need to become something else. I need to become somebody else. You know? You know who you are. Thank you for loving me. You've never looked at, I cannot ever recall you ever saying to me, I love you, but I know you love me. Because you ever have somebody in your life who you just always get it wrong with them? You just always get it wrong. It's like, no matter how you try, it's like every time you show up with them, you fall on your face. It's like in your worst moments. It's like you're at your worst. No matter how you try. It's like you always mess up. But you don't feel it. They don't treat you that way. They don't treat you like that's what it is. They just give you such loving kindness. I get what she's saying. And I'm going to say, try not to be vengeful, try not to be resentful, try not to be all those things. But in all your being, be yourself. I believe that, I have to believe that if love is what made God send his son, then love is what's going to help me clean myself up. Love is not going to find me in perfection. Maybe it can, I don't know, but if love can't be mine at my worst, is it love? Because do you know when you're vengeful or when you're being resentful? No, you're just feeling something, and that's the symptom. So I say, yes, be intentional about your energy, your aura, and who you're being, but more than that, be true to you. Because one of the things I don't want is to get into any relationship where, because I feel this happened to me before, where I'm in a relationship where I was just going along to get along. I'm dating you, but it's like your playground. I'm just here and don't know how to navigate, because I'm afraid of being myself, because I feel myself is unlovable and you wouldn't want me for myself. And let me tell you what has happened since. God is God, you know. God is going to be God. Now that I am myself, as I said, the same person who would say to me, I'm too fat. I remember one day we were arguing. He said, you're a fat bitch. And don't feel any way. We were arguing. Okay, it's okay. And, I never felt beautiful to him. I didn't feel like, anyway, it's weird because I thought my fat was the problem. Or there were conversations that made me think that. Now I'm bigger, but I'm more confident. I know who I am. And I'm telling you, it's like the person, we're not together. We've never done anything that's inappropriate. We don't even see each other, okay? And I make sure that that doesn't happen because this person is married. But we had have conversations where lessons learned, right? And it's that the attraction for me is better now than it was then. You know what I mean? Or that it hasn't changed, it's there. But I hear a greater, that the language is different. The way he talks to me now is different. The admiration towards me is different. And now I'm surprised because I thought, no, he would just not want to talk to me because I'm not taking your BS. I'm not just going to sit here. I'm going to be who I am. I'm not going to be disrespectful. You know, I really have a thing that my dad taught me: never disrespect men. Don't ever disrespect men. Honestly, to me, I feel like to disrespect a man would be to make myself unsafe. So I'm always mindful of, to feel safe with men, I must respect them. That's a thing that I've always had in my head, right? But now the appreciation for me, the I love yous, the all of that, and I don't know, maybe I don't know what it is. There is no chance of us being together, never will be. So there would be no need for manipulation or games or whatever. And I will be fair in saying this person actually opened up. He's opened up to me too. And little things like, I didn't know how to be a man, I'm sorry for the things like we talk like that. And let me be clear again, we talked. We're not talking. Okay. So I respect his marriage. I'm just saying all of this to say, be your truest self. This is what I would say for me, because I don't like to tell people what to do. What am I saying? I tell myself, be your truest self. It is for me, it is better for me to be single for the rest of my life, being myself, than to pretend to be somebody to be accepted and then now have to live this lie for the rest of my life. I don't want that. It is my prayer and my hope that God would align me with someone who has the capacity and the gumption and the strength and all that is required to love somebody like me. Somebody like you. So yes, I think there's wisdom in what she's saying, but I think we also have to be cautious that even in not being vengeful or resentful, it has to still be from a place of truth, not just a place of, I'm not resentful. No, you have to, if you feel resentful, then you have to acknowledge it, then treat it. Treat it. Heal from it. Don't bury it. That's all I'm trying to say. But I just wanted to end it on this note, of,
as a matter of fact, they're not going to get the overflow of that vengefulness. They're going to get nothing. Mm-hmm. They're going to go so far with you, and then it's going to stop. I've been with those people. Mm-hmm. They're called emotionally unavailable.
Wow. Well, that's the one thing I don't want to be. He's emotionally unavailable. And it is very difficult. I feel like... Yeah. Some men, well, I think you can actually love someone who's emotionally unavailable to you. Yeah. Anyways. This has been Allegedly for today. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I'm Coach Raquel. And this is where we bring Allegedly, the Allegedly segment to a close. Okay, so we've come to the end of today's show. Oh my goodness, it's the end of this episode. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching Refresh, Relax, Renew. And right before I go, there is something else I want to share with you. I'm going to put the clip up in a minute, but there are there are two churches I want to share with you, and I'd like to invite you to support them through a fundraising activity that we're currently carrying out. Now, you have to, I'm inviting you to get to know them, meet them, and if they align with you, or if you find it in your heart, or if your soul is encouraged to support them, then I hope you do. But it's your choice at the end of the day. But I definitely would like you to give me this moment just to introduce them to you. All right. So the first one that I want to introduce you to is Gospel Foundation International Healing Ministries. And I'd like to invite you to help us to reach our $500 monthly goal. Support GFIH Ministries' mission of prayer, healing, and hope. You can donate $10, $25, however much you want. It's pretty easy. You just go to their website. You go to the link that's there, gfihministries.org/give. You just click on that. You just go type that into your browser, and you can just donate based on your own capacity. There are no limits. You can give up to $1,000, $2,000, however much you feel led to give. It is my hope that you will donate it. So that's Gospel Foundation International Healing Ministries. And now the other one is Women and Men of Excellence Outreach Ministries. And we have the same target. $500 is the monthly goal. So please support WAMO's community impact and faith-based outreach. You can give 10, 25, 100, 1,000, 2,000. And all you have to do is go to wamo.org/give. That's WAMOE.org/give. And I will have it in the description of this video. All right. So it is my hope that you will show up, you will go, you'll donate and support. I think it's important to support faith-based companies, faith-based organizations. Let us support them, because when we face those challenges that money cannot solve, is faith we turn to. We turn to faith, and we go to these people and we say pray. And these are people who are always praying, even we don't ask, interceding for the world, for the challenges that we face in the world. So let us support them. This is my way of supporting them too. I'm not paid to do this. I'm just choosing to do this. So it is my hope that you'll join me and you will also show up and lend your support as well. All right. So we've come to the end of the show, and I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. It is my hope that you will like the show. You will subscribe. Please, if the information I share in this program, if you think this information could be helpful for somebody else, please share it.
Unlock your potential every Thursday with our podcast, Refresh, Relax, Renew. Join Coach Raquel as she guides you through personal development journeys. Each episode focuses on actionable steps to enhance your personal journey. The podcast features 3 main segments to keep you engaged. We start with discussions on trending topics relevant to your growth. Then we unbox solutions to common challenges we face daily. Finally, stay updated with fresh funding opportunities each week. Tune in every Thursday for new episodes, and see you there.
I love to open new packages. I want to deliver the latest information on top funding opportunities for entrepreneurs who are seeking funding. Come along with me. I'm Coach Raquel, and this is a passion project for me, so I'm so happy to bring this to you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching.